Welcome to Rick's Corner. Today my guest is Sherry Goggin. She's a Miss Fitness America. She's won numerous titles. She's all over the magazines. She's all over the media. She's all over the internet. And it's finally time that I have a pretty girl on the set instead of all you ugly guys. I'm so tired of the ugly guys. No disrespect. You guys are cool. All right, let's start. Here's what I want to know.
Okay.
When you first started fitness training, what inspired you to even go that level? Was that your vision in life, or did you have another goal? Were you an artist? Were you something else, or what?
Well, I've always been competitive, so anything that I start, I always end up doing it at a competitive level.
Yeah.
So I've always been involved in sports growing up and stuff, but the reason I started competing was I thought it would be a way to put some size on, because I was always thin growing up and still hard to keep weight on, so that was my way of trying to put some size on and make my body a little bit bigger. And it worked.
No, I understand that, because I was the same way. When in high school, I was a guitarist in a rock band, and I was about 140, 150 pounds, but I wanted to stay slim, and then all of a sudden, I decided I better start training a little bit. Yeah. And as you know, the results come pretty quick.
Exactly.
You know, it's like some guys and some women will ask you, gee, I don't want to get too big if I lift weights, but that would be a blessing.
Yeah, that would be a blessing.
Because it's not really that you're going to gain a lot of muscle. That's all coming from diet and how you focus. But you train to stay in shape and stay lean and hard. Then you gear your muscle to come little by little by the amount of carbohydrates you introduce to your diet.
Right, and it's all about, you know, being dedicated and really sticking to your training program and your diet. It's all a combination.
Yeah, and you're dedicated. There's no doubt about that.
I'm dedicated. Yes.
Now, because I saw you at the firehouse eating a half a chicken and yams when I had the blueberry pancakes, which were really good. Now, do you eat like that all the time?
No, actually, I mean, I eat clean all the time, as far as, like, I don't eat sauces or fried foods or salt or things like that, or to put the extra stuff on it.
Yeah.
But I eat pancakes, I eat a lot of carbs, I eat a lot of rice, I eat a lot of red meat. I really keep my calories extremely high, but I eat the right amount of protein, carbs, and fat in every single meal, and I'm eating every 2.5 to 3 hours to keep the fuel in my system so I don't lose my muscle.
That's true. Now, how do you calculate the amount of protein, carbs, and fat that you take in daily? I mean, do you sit and actually meter it out like some people do, or do you just kind of know?
Yeah, no, at this point, you know, actually for the last few years, I know by looking, and I can, like, diet just so quick. Like, I diet 2 to 3 days out before a photo shoot, and then that's just to drop my water, and I make my diet extremely clean, but I just know by looking
and years of doing it.
And years of doing it, yes.
If you have a junk day, now back in the 70s, we ate really clean, and the idea back then, and I've told people this, it wasn't the we would drop the carbs, but we would increase the fats, because fats would give you energy and not be stored as fat. And then we'd increase our protein. And then on Sunday was junk day. We go to the House of Pies. And we go nuts on cheesecakes and whatever you wanted to do. Do you still have that junk day?
Actually, I have a junk day kind of every other day.
Do you really?
I'm actually cutting it back, but I'm kind of a sweet eater, and I was eating M&Ms every day and cookies every day. But now I go to Trader Joe's and I buy the sugar-free cookies and, you know, no cholesterol, no fat cookies, but I still keep those in my diet.
Yeah, you gotta have that. I bought some.
You gotta have it.
I bought popcorn because I thought that was the least of all the evils.
Right.
Of course, Valentine's Day we had a cake here.
Yeah, I had my chocolate.
Yeah, me too. I had my chocolate Valentine's Day cake, which I nibbled out for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Your training is still 6 days a week?
At least, yeah, 5 to 6 days a week. Yeah.
And you take it one day, at least 7, one day off?
I do. If I miss a day, then I'll make it up on my off day.
I understand that.
Depending on my schedule.
Do you split your routines up like a bodybuilder?
I change it every 4 to 6 weeks so I can still shock my system, but I'll do a push-pull, chest, tri, back, bis, legs, and shoulders. Sometimes if I don't have time to do 2 body parts, then I'll just do 1 body part and make it up on my off day.
Oh, that's right. Well, I found out getting out of bed in the morning when I put my feet on the ground, that shocks my system pretty good. I've actually landed. Now, you brought up something that's interesting. If you work your body part 1 time a week compared to 2 times a week, do you see a difference?
I do. I definitely do.
What's the difference?
I like to do it, 2 times a week, because it's working. You know, I like to rest it, every 3rd day. Don't train it, back to back. But I definitely see a difference in the density and the tonus and actually, and the way it feels on top of it.
Have you ever trained it 3 days a week?
Maybe once in a great while. Yeah.
Years ago, I'm going way back. I don't even want to say what date it was. But the theory was you train 3 times a week. You know, you do your upper body one day and then your lower body the next. But 3 times a week, let's say for chest, back, and shoulders. And you would do 3 sets of so many reps. Well, That was the theory. And then they decided later on that twice a week is better because 3 days was overtraining.
Right.
But 3 days, if you do limited sets, if you do 4 or 5 sets of body part, that's not overtraining. Now, when I hurt my legs, I was in a wheelchair and a walker for a while, and I couldn't work them. So I would go and do upper body every day, a little bit. I noticed in 2 weeks, I really put some size on.
Oh, right.
Just by doing that. But I couldn't do it year-round because it would go the other way and I'd be overtrained.
Right. You have to kind of play it out and do, like you're saying, in bits and pieces where it's not overtraining.
Right. Now, what if you go once a week? Is that enough?
I don't feel that's enough for me.
Me either.
At all. And, you know, everybody's body's different, so some people, you have to really train according to what works for you. But I still don't think that's enough for anybody.
No, you know, I know a lot of people that do the once a week thing, and they tell me, "Oh, it works great. You know, I have the whole 6 days to recover and go back." But
it's more from maintaining, I think.
Yeah, I think you lose. All right, I asked you this when you came over, and I said I want to get this on camera. What is the difference between fitness training and bodybuilding?
Well, in my opinion, fitness training is more of, well, let's start with bodybuilding. It's more of training for size, heavier reps, low rest period. Longer rest period and heavy weights, and you're really concentrating on size, and you're doing more bulky free weights mostly.
Right.
Now, if you go fitness, you know, you're changing it up. You're doing higher reps. You may even do a supersets. You may, just for tone and definition. So it's different. But for me, like, I trained more like a bodybuilder all my life because I had a hard time keeping the size on.
Right.
So again, that's being a different person than someone else.
But you can incorporate the two. Now that I've gotten older, I don't train heavy like I used to, and I use more machines than I used to. But I also superset them. I get my reps in, and I try to go nonstop to retain the muscle density and the shape.
Yes.
But it doesn't seem to hold up like it did 20 years ago, where you could hold that size. For a man, as he gets older, you start to lose muscle tone. So I have to enhance it with more supplements and do what I do to take it, to make it work.
Right. I do the same thing exactly. I take more supplements, but. I don't train like I used to because, it starts hurting your joints and stuff as you get older, younger.
Yeah, how do your joints feel? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm great.
No elbows, no shoulder problems, knees?
Oh, a little bit of everything.
Do you? Nothing specific that's really bad?
No, I guess not.
Boy, you're lucky.
But, I still have the, shoulders. When you have to be careful. Sometimes they'll start hurting worse than other times. And you got to baby it accordingly so you know when not to train too heavy or... But I do like you. I do lightweight, higher reps. Sometimes I superset, and then some days I'll go heavy.
I think if you train through the injury, it's better than sitting home doing nothing. Because if you sit home and do nothing, it'll just freeze up, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Like I was saying earlier, I just put a gym in my house, so if I can't make it to the gym, at least I know I can get a good workout in.
You have a complete gym there?
Complete gym, everything.
Take up a lot of space?
For workout. No, actually, it takes a 12 by 12 foot room.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and I got the speed bag, the heavy bag, the full elliptical, the full gym with everything on it, pull downs, leg press, the dumbbell racks.
That's really good. And it's indoor, of course, air conditioning and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mine was out here by the back of the house, and the weather element got to me.